It is the 28th. The reason I know that is because the 29th is Addie Bear's birthday. It is the 28th. It is -2, but it's like there's rain on the wind. Oh, sorry, Amy. She rather enjoys my weather reports. It is -2, little rain on the windshield.
No one cares.
Yes, they do. Well, here, I'll give everybody a little. This is what we're dealing with right now. Moffat Lane, where we live in Guelph, or our house is in Guelph. I'm going to be honest with everybody. It's supposed to rain all day at Northfield Park. I am curious if they'll race. Less curious that I'll race. I'm not going to race in the pouring rain and the mud today. Drebin has the rail. Justin Irvine does not have a drive in there. And HB Liz Shadow races late in the card after the swamp has arrived, according to my weather app. And Tyler is available in that race. Now, Tyler drove Gorgeous Package last night. Somebody messaged me and said, I don't think Tyler gets along with that filly. She just wasn't good last night. He got away fourth because I've told him, you got to be careful going into that first turn. She can leave when she's good. I know when she's good, but it's really hard to ask them, oh, she's fine now, just let her rattle into there. And then have her make a break when, truthfully, on paper, she looked like she was the best horse in the race. I think. I shouldn't say that. I didn't look at the program, nor did I look at her odds. If I'm going to be completely honest, I fell asleep before she raced. But, you know, come first over, she should have been a hard-fought second at very least. And truthfully, if I'm going to be honest, she probably should have blew right by that horse down the backstretch and did not. So, just what I would call maybe a little flat race for her. Did she tie up a little bit? Given the weather, it'd be hard to, you know, get angry about it. The weather is brutal right now. This -2 plus, now I'm talking in Celsius, -2, +2, -5, +5. It's really hard for the horses. Hard for the fillies, it seems like a lot more than the colts. And then, of course, we have some of the horses corked up. Now they're trying to race in the mud. Now, Gorgeous Package was not corked up. Was it freezing last night? Was the track a little slick when she raced in the 13th or 14th race, whenever it was? That's possible also. I just thought she raced a little flat, but not bad. Just a little flat. We'll draw her blood to see if there is anything obvious found in there. And quite frankly, I thought she would win that race, and then that would be her last start before she headed to Dover. We'll see how that plays out. I've been talking to Mr. Munson. I had a great question from somebody, what day is today? Sunday? Yesterday morning. I think, is there no parking spot? Oh, there's one right here, babe. One right here. The drive, why would they close the drive? There maybe not enough staffing or something. Just give me a moment here while I try not to run into this half-ton. Oh, it's not a half-ton. It's a crossover of some sort. You're in charge of the drinky drinks today?
I can't get out.
I maneuvered this way on purpose. You're welcome. You have lots of room now.
You just
Oh, good call. It's probably not ready for a couple of minutes. You're right. She's right. So, what was I talking about? The horses tonight. I may not be able to get there tonight. Gorgeous Package. I talked to Dan Munson, Mr. Munson, about Blue Ventura. I said, you know, could you have a look at this horse? Initially, I just said, we'll just move on from Blue Ventura. I like the horse. He's good right now. I don't know if he's good enough to race in Southern Ohio. They now go to Miami Valley, which means, do we send the horse down there to Miami Valley? And that's another great question. When you're talking, we have some horses we're going to race in Miami Valley. It's 40 minutes further than Dayton to Miami Valley, and they start first of the year. So Spitfire's down with Stacy right now just because, one, we didn't have stalls. Two, I didn't want to ship him down, ship him back, ship him down because I thought maybe the ships were bothering him a little bit. Now you add 40 minutes to that. What do we do with that? I don't know. We'll figure that out in the new year, depending on how the horses are racing. We will ship down at some point. If we have success, then we'll reassess. If we don't have success, then we'll reassess. But when it comes to Blue Ventura, it just seemed to me that it's going to be a tough sell for Southern Ohio. Maybe, maybe not. But was there a place potentially in Dover? And I'd sent the lines of him off to Mr. Munson. He said that would be tough. They roll right along in that class. It might be better to test free agency. Horse like him would be a monster at Saratoga. Would be a really, really nice horse at Saratoga, I think. But again, would he get in every week? What's the class look like? Is there a specific class for him? I don't know. So, a little bit different situation for Blue Ventura than with Gorgeous Package. So he'll likely be moved on. We may try and race him once, as I saw I guess we could put him on gate, but the next preferred sale with David is January the 12th, I believe. So that's what we have to figure out this week. Are we going to race Blue Ventura once more and then sell him? Or are we going to put him on gate in between the sales? Or are we just going to wait it out for preferred? I'm not sure yet. But it was a good question. It was one. I did want to make sure that I told Mark that I'd followed up on that. I did look into potential classes there for him, and Mr. Munson said it might be a little difficult for him down there right now too. So that was Blue Ventura. That was Gorgeous Package. I had a great question from Joel, one of our clients. Always asked about the babies. I think for somebody, he's one of the people that have been in the business for a long time, and of course, the way you and I do things, it's the way is the way that we do things, and it's the way that I've done things my whole life. But that doesn't mean that it's the best way or for every single horse, and that's why we try to be as flexible as we can with some of the horses. Perfect example is Hanger One training back. I left the horse with Andy Rickard because it just seemed like he got, as a 2-year-old, he was a little immature and he got really hot really easy. So why don't we keep him in a quieter setting? Andy had a nice farm. He's got a tow gate there. And when it came to training, it's a short ship, maybe 40 minutes in, I think, to the meadows. See if we could train him down that way and if it worked out. So we're always fine with being flexible. But the core of the way that we train horses is what Joel was after. What are we looking for this time of year? Amy and I talked about it. We just want to see the horses start to mature, understand their work, and understand what we're asking them to do. And my answer to that to Amy was yes, but we're also looking to stretch them out. They are athletes. We are pushing them every so often when the track is good and when the track is right. And when the horses are ready to be pushed, we try to push them a little bit. Now, Joel's question was as much for you, for me. What are you looking for in the babies? What am I looking for in the babies when you go out on the track? When you go out with Cirrus? I know you love going with Cirrus. What do you look for?
He's not a good example because he
does
very
everything
smart
right.
horse.
He does everything right.
But someone like History Hanover, he's learned a lot because he wanted to do things wrong.
And that's a good point
at the start. But now he'll sit in a line, he'll move.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really even look to run off the track.
And you know what? You make a good point, and that's important for Joel, is that, well, I guess that's the best starting point, actually, is what we're looking for is progression, maturity, but we're looking to see which horses are making mistakes and correcting them as quickly as we can. What Amy touched on was the first 2 days in History Hanover, he was looking to run off the track a little bit. I actually went to something I haven't used in years. I put a telescope bridle on him and a Murphy blind outside just so he had to focus on straight ahead. And within 3 or 4 days, we had moved him back to a closed bridle, and now I think you could jog him without a Murphy blind. He understands that you are not to do that. And these are the types of things we're looking at, whether the horse is kicking or trying to run away or just being rude. We're trying to combat that, polish that up so that we can get them into that group setting where they can start to understand their work a lot better. So that's a good point. But for me, we're trying to get them to the starting point as quickly as we can. And by that, I mean erase all those errors that those horses are making, the mistakes they're making, the things they're doing wrong, show them how they can't do it, and if we can, show them why they can't do it, because it's not conducive to their job, right? And that's where we want to get to. We want to get every horse this time of year. I'd mentioned it in a couple of videos. I want January 1st, I want everybody rowing in the same direction, whether that's our caretakers, whether that's the horses. Everything needs to be moving forward come January 1st. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. So to answer your question, Joel, what we're looking for right now is everything. What the horses are doing wrong. We're not really focused on what they're doing right. We're going to allow them to continue to do things right, like horses like Cirrus that don't do anything wrong. Just allow them to continue to work along. Whereas the other horses, we want to get them to a part where they're at Cirrus's level, where they understand their work. They want to do their work. Some of them are even excited and happy to go out and do their work. And the ones that aren't, figure out why. Are they sore? Something bothers them? They're a little under the weather? Or are they just a little cranky? And how do we combat that? Usually, I'll be as frank as I can. The ones that are a little cranky, they work a little hard. They work a little harder than the ones that aren't. And I need everybody to understand that this is your job. This is how I want you to do it. And then once we get them all to that point, then you can just start moving, right? And Joel had asked about, do we he had framed it as in the field there are some alphas. They're the top of there's a pecking order in every field. Well, there's always going to be that alpha. The problem with allowing the alpha to continue to be an alpha all the time is that eventually he's not going to be the alpha, right? You're not going to have the best horse in the world. It'd be great to think that. But the reality is, those ones that beat up on everybody, eventually somebody punches back, right? Mm-hmm. And the worst thing that can happen is if you find that other alpha in the racetrack in July, then what's your horse do? When your horse gets beat, you guys hear me every year talk about adversity. The horses have to overcome adversity. And if they're just the best all the time, it can actually be a problem. Because what happens when they do get beat up on the track? Do they sulk? Do they now turn off? Are they not the same horse? So we don't really want to accentuate. We don't want to break a horse's spirit, so to speak. I know we talk about when we break horses, we want to break their spirit and make sure they do their work. Not really. It's not really what you want to do. You want to put them in a position where they're comfortable, happy to do their work. If they're good at it, they know they're good at it, and they get better from there. But the alpha mentality where they're just the best all the time, we don't feed that. We're not going to put better horses in with worse horses to keep the good horses feeling great. We're going to put the good horses in with our very best horses, and then we're going to see what they do after that, because they're going to face that adversity, and what they do at that point really defines what they are as a racehorse. So it's all about building the best horse mentally as we're building them up physically, I think is the way that I wanted to put it. Is that how you see it?
His question was, I didn't really understand his question.
He just wanted to know what we're looking for, what we're after, what we're not after, how we do that, and why we do that, I guess. Just all-encompassing. When you pick up a horse, and he's asked this before, but when you pick up a horse, the horse is now in your care. From the day you put the harness on it to the first time to the racetrack, or at least till right now, December 28th of every year, what are you looking for? And I think we've explained that as well as we can. We're looking to fix deficiencies and let horses learn to do their work very, very well. And along the way, they're all going to face adversity, and that is what I'm looking for. What happens when you get beat? What happens when you get tired, right? These are the things that I want to know. You look at a horse like Bella Dale. She's got that splint. It bothers her. And you've heard me say this before. I just feel if we cryo them right now, there's a better chance we have to re-cryo them in May or June. They start to bother them again more times than not, we found. So I would rather paint and cool them down a little bit. But that bothers her, right? And you saw it.
Left time bothers her just
a little bit, yeah. Now, we haven't had her x-rayed. There may be other things going on. But to have her go out and do her work so well and so fast. I know she was no good on you, but that wasn't your fault or her fault. That was an icy, snowy day with flip-flops on. I've gone. She's the fastest horse we have in harness right now, is Bella Dale. Nobody really, and the one that surprised me the most the other day was Saint Sarah. Did you see how good she looked? Mm-hmm. She was like a half a length behind me, and we were smoking down by the wire. But I want the horses to overcome, right? I guess that's the word. That's the word, overcome. I want them to overcome any of their own deficiencies, and I want them to overcome whatever's bothering them in that particular day to get their work done good. So you face that adversity, and you need to overcome. And to me, that's what builds a great racehorse, and that's the foundation of our barn. It's great to say, I want the very best horse in the world. That's great. We're going to have great horses along the way. Everybody will. But to think that there's a certain way to build that world champion, we've had people say it all the time, oh, you got to go to Florida. No. There's lots of good horses come out of New Jersey, Florida, Kentucky, Ontario. There's lots of good horses come out of Ontario. The best 2-year-old on planet Earth now, to be fair, I guess he trained down in Florida with Dr. Moore. Yeah. But he did come out of Ontario, and there's been great horses come out of the tundra to race well also. So along the way, listen, we're always changing along the way, but I think the most important thing is to stick to what I had said. Get the horses all rowing in the same direction come January 1st. Do you want to cut the drinks now? Mine, they should have been like a beaker. I don't know how they do it here. But I know in the States they have it like a giant beaker on the table. I washed it. I was terribly worried that I didn't wash them. That's just some stuff. Now, what else we want to talk about is, we talked again, I guess, in talking about Joel's question, I answered quite a bit about the babies this year and where they're going and what they're doing. I'm always excited this time of year because I want to see what the horses are like, right? I want to see how Bella Dale, how she pushes forward over the next couple of months. And I talked about it, and it's frustrating me to no end these glasses aren't working. But I had talked about it before in the training video with Bella Dale, how she's not imperfect, but when you put her in gear, her ears come forward, right? She's always looking around. She's always looking to accelerate, and not in a bad way. And we've had some down by the seasides that have been tough to deal with. And this filly just got a great demeanor and a great attitude, and I think it'll serve her and us very, very well moving forward. None of the horses that I've seen or that I've gone with have been concerning in any way. I've been really, really happy with what I've seen from the vast majority of them. We also have our pecking order, right? We also have horses that could be doing better, that maybe aren't doing better. I need to put my hat spot on. That maybe aren't doing better, and we need to work on that with them. But that's where our job comes in, right? That's what the job is. For us to know who 1 through 52 is, I'd love to see 52 become 1 if possible. But that takes a lot of work along the way. And I'm not naive in the sense that, some of these horses are just going to be better. Some of these horses are going to get better. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of work. And throughout the year, we always talk about, Amy and I always talk about that top 10 list. She hates it. She hates the top 10 list, but at the same time, I think it serves us well in the sense that I get an idea of what horses are what. It was definitely in a personal cup.
What was it?
It was my drink.
What is it?
In a personal cup.
What kind of drink?
A venti, extra hot vanilla latte.
Any food?
Yep, that's it. They don't have the cinnamon things here in this country. Do you know that? Oh, they all wanted pancakes. Just wait, get back in here and we'll finish this. So there's a trade-off, just a little side note. There's a trade-off in Canada has mini pancakes that you can get at Starbucks. Cannot get them in the States. And the States have these cinnamon pull-aparts that I like. You can't get them in Canada. At least I haven't seen them on the list, but I'll look again.
There's nothing in this or in another cup. And all our stuff was in one area.
Okay, well, I'll check the receipt and then we'll go from there. So we'll finish up with this. Happy with the way the babies are going. As I said, I want to get everybody rowing in the right direction. I believe we have. Any of the horses that... Now, when we did our OCD x-ray list, they were in triage order, right? This horse, could you look? Could you look? Could you look? Could you look? And we have 3 horses I have to talk to Dr. Brown about getting done also, and we will get them done. There won't be a problem there. With respect to the race horses, I'm happy with the way things have gone. It's been a weird year, though. I've tried my hardest for months and months and months to buy that high-end horse. A couple of them have come along, but just at huge, huge cost. It's just way over what we were going to pay for them. And then when you look at a horse like Winter Soldier, although he had a flat mile the other day, that horse has been a tremendous acquisition for us. A couple of our numbers on 1, 2s, and 3s have been great. And then we have some horses qualifying and qualified and going to qualify. What's that smirk about?
Nothing.
Yes, it is.
I'm not going with them this week.
Who are you talking about?
Bobby.
You're not going with Bobby?
No.
Oh, Bobby loves you.
Eyes.
Bobby is much better. Eyes got under my skin the other day.
I didn't notice.
She was being very bad the other day, and we'll get her squared away for this week. We have some horses to qualify on Tuesday. We'll get that done. Get that out of the way and get back to racing. So a number of horses have jumped up. The horse that surprised me the most, I guess, racing-wise, for the last little while, aside from the numbers of 2s and 3s that we got, the horse that surprised me maybe the most has been Drebin. Now, I just told everybody at the start of this, I'm not going back to drive Drebin tonight in the pouring rain in the mud. And I know he's a little tricky, but he's not tricky if you just bring him into the gate slow. So I'll talk to Justin. You don't have to get away on the... you don't have to use rail control. You're supposed to beat Aaron's horse. Maybe he can't beat Aaron's horse first over, which is fine. He's made the final of that pop-up thing. You don't have to abuse him. You don't have to use him hard, but do not put him up on the gate. So it'll be just bring him in soft to the gate and go out with the... Even if you're a quarter of a length off the gate when they say go, as the turn gets there, the only horse that's going to be leaving hard, maybe some speed from the outside that I'm not aware of. Aaron is the only horse you have to worry about. Drebin and Aaron's horse are a layover that I'm aware of, a layover in this series. And then later on, HB Liz Shadow. The only problem with HB Liz Shadow, he has gigantic winter corks on, and there is no blacksmith there today. So we'll see what kind of he's kind of a tougher bugger, though. Racing in Rito would be a lot like racing in the weather right now in Northfield, you're going to have days where the track is falling apart and muddy, and you're going to have other days where the track is a frozen tundra. I think he'll be fine, but it likely will be some sort of a detriment to him. I have asked and asked if there was anybody that can maybe swap those shoes out. The other problem with swapping those shoes out, now you're taking the shoes off and nailing back into his feet on race day. Not what we want to be doing with HB Liz Shadow. So I'm more apt to just roll the dice and see what happens with HB Liz Shadow. Do you have any thoughts? What about Christmas? You had a good Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I had a tremendous Christmas. This is my favorite time of year, and this was perfect. We get to hang out with your sister and your brother-in-law, right? Brother-in-law, yes, Matt, and Claire and Cohen and our kids are similar ages. They get along really, really good. What?
Really?
What's that supposed to do? What's that?
No, they do.
They get along really, really well. Ollie, it's always good to have a little humility because Cohen, their son, is like a hockey star, and like we talk about Ollie, and Ollie does good in baseball, but this young man has made like the top 32 players in Ontario, the entire province of Ontario, to play in a tournament this summer. He's a very, very gifted hockey player, and he's a really, really nice young man. And I hope we get some time to go out and watch him play. That would be fun.
9.
He's 9, and he loves Ollie, and he loves playing hockey with Ollie, and Ollie loves playing with him. So it was a lot of fun to have the kids hanging out this time of year, Christmas time, and it's not that long now. We go away for our family trip every year, first part of January, so it'll be nice I didn't get to see my parents at Christmas time. I just got to call them, but we'll get to see them all at the first part of January. Mark and, I don't know, is Mark going? Oh, Mark's not going. James and Curtis and both my parents, so it'd be a lot of fun in that regard. So, I hope you guys had a tremendous Christmas. I know I've been saying this for a few days, but, it almost feels bad because November the 1st is the start of Christmas season.
Just so you know, I am de-decorating.
You're de-decorating?
Yeah.
You're taking it all down? Grinch.
Well, that'll stay up there until the next time we come home. It could be
it's fine
April
with me. It's in our house. Who would know?
No, the outside stuff.
Oh, like the lights? Oh, yeah, you can take those down. So it's my favorite time of year. It's coming to a close. January the 2nd, it all ends, and we're right back to work racing horses. So it should be a great week ahead. It's definitely been a great year. I truly appreciate everybody's participation and partnership in the stable. It means a lot. And I've got all your horse names also, so we're going to be running them through. Well, first they have to be not taken.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be having a look at all them, naming all the babies over the next few days and getting that all taken care of. So I want to get to a point where we maybe do this in November and not right before January 1st. But it's done. It'll be taken care of, and it'll be the next step of the stable. And then after that, John and I have to talk about who we're breeding our mares to. I appreciate all the notes I've got from everybody, whether it be Alan, Steve. I know Steve has a huge family, so he's busy this time of year also. I'm sure we'll talk about his thoughts on who we should be breeding the mares to. John and I will talk about it also. We had a great conversation with John and our new partners, John, Nishant, Janine, over the holidays. They're going to bring something really cool to the stable also. And I know I've been saying this, but you have to understand, we have over 900 clients in 15 countries. We have a gigantic stable that is always fluid and always moving. And the back end of the stable, if you just take a second and think of all the moving parts that have to go on in the stable, it's a huge undertaking. They've done a great job. It's great to be in partnership with people that are friends and people that want to see the stable succeed. So again, I talk about the horses. I want all the horses theoretically rowing in the same direction. January 2nd, January 1st. Everybody in the stable, from the top, from the people you don't see and we don't talk about, to the people right down that do all the grunt work and all the heavy lifting, everybody rowing in the same direction for the stable.ca come January 1st is a great feeling. This is the first year in a long time that I've felt the way I have. There's always been a little bit of stress at Christmas, and John and Nishant they jokingly said it, but they did take a lot of that stress off of me. And for the first time in quite a while, I've been able to really, truly soak in every morsel of the Christmas season. And for that, I I'm very thankful. So, you still have some more time to spend with your family, I'm sure. Your kids, if you have kids, are on break for a little while. Take some time, soak it all up. Christmas is not over yet until January the 2nd, no matter what Amy says. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. We'll be making our way back to Ohio at some point this afternoon. Take care, everybody.